We're going to talk all about A Connecticut Christmas with Karen B. Davis, who has just come out with this book. This is October as we go to tape. Christmas in Connecticut. It's just beautiful.
Thank you so much.
So you started out as a photographer several years ago.
Yes.
How did you come up with this book?
Well, I pitched a story many years ago to a magazine called Victoria on a travel piece about the Connecticut River Valley where I live, because it's very beautiful and there's a lot of things to do, right? And they liked it, and they hired me to photograph a feature article for them, but they decided to make it about Christmas in Connecticut. So then they published the feature article, and I posted it on Facebook, which I don't usually go on there a lot, so I'm really happy I did this time.
Oh, you have to be on social media if you're
I've learned that, exactly. And you saw it, and you were in the middle of your book on Katharine Hepburn.
Remembering Katharine Hepburn, yes.
With Globe Pequot Press, and I believe that you knew Amy Lyons, the editor, was looking for someone to do a book about Christmas, and you hooked us up.
Well, voila.
And here we are.
So here it is, October.
That's right.
All right, so how painstaking was it for you to run around the state of Connecticut, take pictures? It's so bucolic at this time of year in Connecticut. I mean, Christmas in New England anywhere is gorgeous.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
But how did you whittle down I'm assuming you took hundreds, maybe thousands of pictures?
Yeah, I mean, the first year we went for the obvious things, such as we knew there were light shows, and I knew there was the Mystic Boat Parade and some events from my own area, so we went for all of those. And we started thinking about decoration, so I started, originally I was thinking, okay, maybe it'd be more architectural because that's my love. Maybe we find a 17th century, 18th century, 19th century modern house, etc., decked to the nines. But it didn't quite go like that. It was very organic, and I'm so glad it was, because I was able to find things I never expected to find.
In your own state?
Yes.
How many pictures did you shoot?
Oh gosh, I don't
Hundreds?
know.
Thousands?
Yeah, I mean, we narrowed it down to 500 for the book, and of that, I think we have about 400 in there.
And it's a beautiful coffee table book. All right, let's start taking a look at some of the pictures that are in this book. I love your pictures. This one may be one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you.
Tell me the story behind this.
So this was Christmas Eve, and
you're out running around Christmas Eve?
Yes, I was, and this was the second season. And I needed a cover shot, so we still hadn't had a cover shot. And I was going to Norwalk, but I thought I'd stop in Stonington, and I'm so glad I did, because I got some photos of some doors, which were very beautiful and decorated stores. But then, as I'm driving over the bridge out of Stonington, I saw that rowboat, and it happened to be, the light was just as it was, and I pulled over where it said, "Don't stop on the bridge."
But you did anyway.
That's right, and took the picture.
Was it sundown or sun up?
Sundown, yeah. I was flying to Norwalk.
Just perfect.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, this one was the cover, and I really pushed for it to be the cover, because I felt like it had all the elements that said Christmas. It had the water, it had a boat, the church, the tree, but this was taken after Christmas, after New Year's, and because I was waiting for snow. There was no snow the first year, and the second year I was sweating it out. And it snowed in Essex, and the river had ice. And I thought, oh, please let that Christmas tree still be there. And it was, and I was really sick when I was photographing this. But you know, I had to, so. Did
you map out each city and town, or did you just kind of go and find things?
Sometimes I went for a specific event, but more than not, I kind of flew by the seat of my pants. I mean, I passed through Litchfield. I knew I wanted to go to Litchfield because I had been there before and it was beautiful. But other places, I didn't know anything about them. But when I was in Litchfield, I thought, let me stop in New Preston and Washington Depot, and I stopped in New Milford. I was still looking for this cover shot, so I wasn't gonna, you know, leave any stone unturned, let's say.
How long did it take you to do it? A couple years?
2 years.
2 years of shooting.
And I went to 40 towns and about 62 locations.
Wow.
Yeah.
By yourself? Did you travel by yourself?
By myself.
Just pulling over places?
Me and my GPS and my tripod.
And what kind of camera were you shooting?
I have a Canon 5D Mark III. And I learned a lot because I had no time to light anything, including the interiors. So the first year was a little clunkier. And the second year, I really felt like I had it down, how to get what I wanted without doing lighting. And then I did multiple exposures and blended in Photoshop. But even my composition, I saw how my eye changed from one year to the next, because sometimes I did, one year I did 35 shoots in 28 days, and sometimes 3 to 4 a day. I mean, I just had to keep going and going because the window was so short.
Oh, sure, with the holiday time. All right, this is New Haven.
Right, and that was amazing.
The tree on the green is always pretty amazing. What were you looking for here? It seems similar time of the day you're getting.
Yeah, I love dusk. I just love that blue light. But I was coming back from Joan's family farm, and Amy, the editor, said, she was passing through New Haven. She said, I'll check it out for you and let you know if the tree's lit up. And she says it is. So I stopped and I waited, and I'm so glad I did. This is one of my favorite shots, actually.
With the Art Deco building in the background, the Eli, I love that. All right, the next picture. Is this Mystic?
Yes.
Okay.
And this was maybe the first or second shoot I did. And the bridge operator on the drawbridge, I called him, and he let me stand on the platform. And if he didn't, I wouldn't have been able to get these shots, because it's really hard to shoot moving boats at night, because you need a slow shutter speed to be able to get all that ambient light, but you need a fast shutter speed to stop the action.
So this was moving. This was
all moving. So I was able just to have a quick flash of light, enough to stop it so it wasn't blurry, and still retain some of that ambient. And that was a really hard shoot, but
it says Christmas,
fun,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
It was all fun, really.
Next one.
Oh, this is Litchfield, where I went several times because I was chasing snow, and they get a lot of snow, and we don't in the River Valley, or we didn't the past 2 years. So I had a contact up there, this woman who runs Country Quilt Llamas, and you can rent her llamas and walk them on leashes in the woods. And
really?
She told me, I would call her and I would say, Debbie, is it snowing? And she'd say, it turned to rain. You know, we kept looking at the forecast because I wanted to shoot her llamas in the snow. That was really important. But at the same time, she was in Cornwall. I was able to find out what Litchfield was up to in terms of snow, because the forecast changes on a dime, as we know.
So you had this whole network of people that were trying to help you chase the snow.
Some people, yeah.
And I love that.
And when I was taking this shot, I went back twice. I went back again at dusk, and this police officer held up traffic for me. I couldn't believe it. While I was trying to get the dusk shot, I didn't even ask him. He just made everyone stop, and I said, no, it's okay. I don't want to hold everyone up.
And this is the shot?
No, it was a different one. But it's same location.
Gorgeous. Where is this?
This is the Lockwood Matthews Mansion in Norwalk, and two designers, interior designers, Victoria Van Dam, she's an interior designer, and Dana Dialisi from the Silk Touch, she's actually a floral designer. They decorate it every year, and they try to keep it in period time.
Victorian?
Yeah, the time of the house.
Yeah.
But they do a beautiful job.
Did they let you in the middle of the night, or when did you take this?
No, this was during the day. It's very dark in there, though. And again, these are all long exposures on a tripod to get the ambient, and some blending in Photoshop.
Next one is the Goodspeed Opera House. This is, what a stunning place that is.
Yeah, that's a beautiful place.
Again, dusk?
Yes, and that was a tough shot to get to. There's a lot of traffic that goes by.
Were you
there.
on the bridge there, or where did you stand?
I was across the street, where the municipal lot is, and I was up high. It's a little higher than the road, so it worked out really well.
And how long did it take you to get the shot you wanted? A couple hours or not?
No, dusk goes really fast, but you have to be set up ahead of time for it. So usually you're out hanging out about an hour, and even, let's say dusk is at 4:30, it really doesn't start getting sweet light till 20 minutes after. So you're out there, you're freezing.
Do you know when you get the shot in your camera, can you look at it, or do you have to wait till you get back and kind of study the photos?
You can look at it on the Viewfinder, yes, but sometimes it's hard to see. It's a small screen, and at night it's hard to see, but you get a sense, you know, from doing it for years if your composition was spot on or it wasn't.
This next one is very kind of quiet, and I like it. Where is this?
This is Norwalk, and the shot that we first looked at of the boat was, I was heading to Norwalk for this shoot because these are, this is called the Norwalk Luminaria, and this is a town that has panoramic views of the Fisher's Island Sound. And it's smaller than Chester, so their population is smaller than 4,000 people. And every Christmas Eve, 1,000 lanterns like you see there get put out by the townspeople who live there all over the village.
How beautiful.
It is. It's really beautiful.
What you have learned about this state.
I know a lot.
Time. My gosh, you could be a tour guide, right?
That's right.
The next one is the Griswold Inn, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Look at that. Is this quintessential New England or what? It is,
and they do an amazing job. And they are, I learned a lot about them too, they are the oldest continuous operating inn in the country. And they care so much about retaining the historical integrity of the building, although they are contemporary with their wine bar. You know, they do move to the times, but they really have a deep appreciation for the stewardship that they know that their family is charged with, having bought this inn.
So you know George Washington probably passed through there at some point. And then the 10th picture that I picked, this is back at Mystic?
Yes, this is Mystic Seaport, and I want to say this was Christmas Eve as well, but maybe it was the day after Christmas. I can't remember because I was still looking for my cover shot. And I knew their decorations were going to be coming down soon. So I looked at this shot. I have many variations of this, starting in the afternoon. And the light was more blue. It wasn't this golden yellow. And I waited and waited and waited. But it never really did exactly what I wanted to do, the light, because it dipped behind the woods on the other side of the road before it really illuminated in the way that I wanted. But I still like the photograph.
What did you learn by trekking all over the state of Connecticut that you didn't already know?
Well, we live in a remarkably beautiful state.
In Chester, well, and your town too.
Right, and I did appreciate that, but I didn't really understand how beautiful Connecticut really is in terms of the physical beauty. And for me personally, I love old houses, so there's a lot of that around as well. But really what I learned was how generous people were to me, and friendly, and opening their homes and businesses, and how much they love Christmas and how excited they were to talk about it and share it, even though, I mean, this is the busiest time of year, and nobody said come back tomorrow. And everybody's like, oh, come on in, and just super friendly people.
Well, now they're in a book, right?
Yeah.
And we can find this anywhere. You're going all over the state and you're talking about this book. Is there another one that Karen B. Davis might be doing?
Well, there is, but
you're not at liberty to say.
No, I've sworn myself to my own secrecy until I first I got to breathe and get through this one, but then I do have another one I'd like to do, actually.
Yeah, well then it's just going to snowball. That's what happens. It just snowballs.
Yeah.
You've worked for years as a photographer. For Inc. magazine and some other publications. As hard as this is, was this a labor of love by the time when this arrived at your home and it was a hardcover book and you got that box where you're like, great, I did it?
You know, I couldn't look at it. I was afraid to look at it. I was like, oh no, I'm just gonna, I actually just left it until I could sit down at the end of the day calmly with a clear head and try to look at it objectively. And I didn't want to ruin or rush the moment from when the boxes came, because I was, you know, it was early in the day and I had a lot to do, and I didn't want to just flip through it and waste that first moment, so I actually waited.
Did you have a cup of tea to then, you know, set the stage?
I wouldn't say I had a cup of tea.
I'm going to go with wine. Well, it's just beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, 400 pictures, we think. You've captured the state beautifully. And you're right, we do live in a really and there are the llamas that you spoke about. We do live in a beautiful state, and we should not forget that. Karen, thanks so much for coming on.
Much, Ann.
And I can't wait to see what your next coffee table book will be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Spend all night kissing and the bumps right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked to find myself wishing I could find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store, but mine just to save time. Skip right ahead to the last ride.